Welcome to our GUC News.
First with the headline. Layla Kabiyesi and the GUC Music Ensemble University Sports Tournament starts this week. New gecko style climbing pad. End of the flat tire. House price growth slows in November at UK. Russia warns of recession in 2015. Silent music. The death of a saxophonist. Atletico Madrid coach calls for end to football-related violence following fan death. Egypt lost 22 position in November FIFA ranking. Bond 24 villain revealed Sherlock star Andrew Scott to take on Daniel Craig's 007 in new film.
Now the news in full. After its great success last May, Layla Kabiyesi is back with a new flavor featuring the famous marimba artist Nesma Abdelaziz. The concert was held at the Examination Hall and they took us through an audiovisual experience of live music beautifully arranged by award-winning composer Khalid Kamar and projections by visual artists and media designers Ghada Fikri, Amr Kandil and Yaqub Yassin.
The GUC is hosting all the universities for the sports tournament, handball, boys and girls, and football. This week, the GUC's team will participate against all the universities' team. We wish them all the luck. This is not the first time for the GUC to host such an event, as the GUC's handball team for girls took the 3rd place last year.
ماتش النهارده احنا بنلاعب الجامعه البريطانيه. اول سنه ليهم يخشوا فريق هاندبول، دخل لهم بنات السنه دي، ففرقه محترمه السنه دي. عدد الفرق زاد، كنا الاول بنلعب فرقتين 3، السنه دي في 4 فرق.
بطوله الجامعات هنا بنبقى خمس فرق، بنلعب بنلعب في BUE وAC وفي جامعه الازهر وجامعات ثانيه.
Your childhood dreams of becoming SpiderMan are one step closer to reality thanks to scientists at Stanford University. This impressive feat was achieved using Stanford's new hand-sized gecko-inspired sticky pads which allow humans to scale vertical glass walls. They created thousands of microscopic wedges using silicon and assembled them onto postage stamp-sized tiles. These tiles, which were arranged on a hand-sized plate, were connected to springs that distributed the weight evenly across the pad. The grippers were also connected to a platform for the climber's feet, transferring most of the effort to the legs. Testing the new invention, a 70-kilogram man was able to climb a 3.6-meter vertical glass wall using the new climbing pads. To achieve this using previously designed material, the pads would have had to be around 10 times the size of a normal human hand.
Inflating your tires too much can cause them to tear, while not having enough pressure can lead to punctures and damages to the suspension. With this in mind, Goodyear has created tires that monitor pressure and automatically inflate using just a regulator and a tube. If the regulator senses the pressure dropping, it opens a valve to let air in, and this pumps up the tire to the correct pounds per square inch, PSI. All the components of the AMT system, including the pump, are contained within the tire. Correctly inflated tires can save fuel as well as lead to carbon dioxide reductions while increasing the life of the tire. Ohio-based Goodyear began developing the air maintenance technology AMT in 2011 and will now start testing the tires on trucking fleets in the US and Canada over the next 18 months.
According to the latest figures from the Halifax, the annual growth in UK house prices slowed to 8.2% in November compared with 8.8% in October. The lender part of Lloyds Banking Group said that property prices were 0.4% higher last month than they were in October. The price of the average home in the UK was around €187,000. The figures come on the same day that an overhaul of the stamp duty system takes effect.
The Russian government has warned the economy will fall into recession next year as Western sanctions, in response to its role in eastern Ukraine and falling oil prices, began to bite. Russia's Economic Development Ministry estimates the economy will contract by 0.8% next year. It had previously estimated the economy would grow by 1.2% in 2015. Russia's reliance on tax revenue from the oil industry makes it particularly sensitive to price movements. Household disposable income are also forecast to decline by as much as 2.8%, compared with the previous estimate that they would grow by 0.4%. The sharp revision in Russia's economic forecast is the first admission from the government that the economy will contract.
In London, many are interested in going to quiet nightclubs where they put on headphones and dance noiselessly, while those who aren't dancing can talk as if they were in a cafe. Dancers could choose their soundtrack from 3 different channels, their headphones lit up red, blue, or green, to show others which one they were listening to.
Rock saxophonist Bobby Keys, who has always associated with the rock monsters the Rolling Stones, died at the age of 71. The Rolling Stones members are shocked by the loss of their very dear friend. Keys also worked with the likes of John Lennon, Buddy Holly, Barbra Streisand, and Eric Clapton. His self-titled solo album featured 2 Beatles, George Harrison and Ringo Starr.
Atletico Madrid coach Diego Simeone has called for an end to football-related violence as his team prepared to play their first game since the death on Sunday of a Deportivo La Coruña fan near the Atletico Stadium. The 43-year-old supporter had to be pulled out of the Manzanares River following what appeared to be an organized street battle between groups of radical fans known as ultras, and died later in hospital. Police, who have come under criticism for not doing more to prevent the violence, are seeking the culprits, and the Spanish government, soccer authorities and clubs have voted to banish ultras from stadiums and their surroundings. Atletico said on Tuesday they had decided their main ultras organization, the Frente Atletico, members of which were involved in Sunday's fightings, would no longer be considered an official fan group. Their banners and flags would be banned from the Calderón Stadium, the club added. Deportivo announced they would close off a section of their stadium occupied by the Racer Blues ultras, some of whom also took part in the fightings, for their next 2 matches.
After losing to Senegal and Tunisia in the 2015 African Cup of Nations qualifiers, Egypt lost 22 places to 60 in the FIFA monthly ranking issued on Thursday. They placed 38 in the list for October. Egypt failed to reach the 2015 African Cup of Nations as they could only gather 6 points with 2 victories over Botswana last October, losing home and away to Tunisia and Senegal. The Pharaohs have never before failed to reach Africa's showpiece 3 straight times in a row. They missed out on 2 consecutive tournaments twice, in 1965 and 1968, and 2012 and 2013. The 7-time African champions are now 14th in the African ranking. Egypt made it into the world's top 10 after winning 3 successive African Cup of Nations trophies in 2006, 2008 and 2010. World Cup winners Germany are still leading the rankings as they defeated Gibraltar 4-0 in the UEFA 2016 qualifiers this November.
Sherlock star Andrew Scott, who played the TV detective's Nemesis Moriarty, is set to appear in the new James Bond movie as a villain. The 38 Irish actor, who found fame in the hit BBC show 4 years ago, will play another baddie in the highly anticipated 007 flick, which had the working title of Bond 24. Dubliner Andrew is set to appear alongside returning cast members Daniel Craig, who played the secret agent, Ralph Fiennes, Ben Whishaw, Rory Kinnear and Naomi Harris, along with Léa Seydoux, Dave Bautista and Christoph Waltz, who are reported to be joining the cast. The movie, directed by Sam Mendes, is set to be released in October 2015.
This is the end of our GUC news. Thank you so much for watching.